Hello, folks. Welcome to Stay Well with Dr. Zorba Pastor.
That's me.
I'm Carl Christensen, and I'm sitting across the desk from the one and only Dr. Zorba Pastor.
That is right. I am the one and only. I am real. I am not virtual, and I am not AI.
He's not. He is a family doc.
I have intelligence. It's not artificial.
He's a seasoned family doc.
I have a question. If you laugh at your own joke, is it a bad joke or a good joke?
It's a good joke, and you're a good person. That's what I say. You can laugh at your own jokes. There's no problem with that, is there?
Well, I do.
All right.
I laugh at my own jokes.
So this guy I'm sitting across from, he's a family doc. He's a father of 4. He's a former host of an NPR show, and he laughs at his own jokes. He just had a double espresso, too, with a little
I love espresso.
Little cream in there.
You know, caffeine and me, we go hand in hand. That's right.
It's a marriage made in heaven.
Exactly. That's right. I think my mother, after she stopped breastfeeding me, actually gave me caffeine.
Oh, really?
So, I think that's what she
That's a good chaser to breast milk. We're glad you're with us on Zorba's new podcast. Today, we're going to take a listener phone call. We'll do a listener voicemail. We'll look at new research about how catching up on sleep may be good for the heart.
Absolutely.
And Zorba is going to dig into some bizarre medical quackery. Spoiler alert, it involves urine. Okay. Also, in our Behind the Curtain, Zorba's going to teach us about exploding head syndrome.
That's right. If
wow.
you've never heard of it,
I
stay
haven't.
tuned because you will learn about it.
All right. If you have a question for Dr. Zorba, you can call this number anytime and leave us a message, 608-492-9292.
That's 608-492-9292. And you can email us at askdrzorba@gmail.com. Spell it out, askdrzorba@gmail.com. Of course, we're on Facebook. And, of course, there's our website, drzorba.org.
Spell it out, drzorba.org. All right, let's go to a caller now. This is a listener from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. You caught me on a day that I have a question for you. And this is a perfect example of my voice sometimes. Sometimes it's really soft. Uh-huh. Sometimes it's normal. So I wanted to ask you about it because I'm getting older.
Well, we're all getting older.
Aren't we all?
Even little children are getting older. But how long has this been going on for? When did you start to notice this?
A few years. And I remember my mom had the same issue when she was older. Her voice got soft too. But mine isn't always this way. Sometimes it's fine.
So it varies. I've got a couple questions. Do you have a tremor? Is there a tremor in your hand at all?
Oh, in my hand.
Mm-hmm. Do you have
Sometimes
tremors?
when I'm holding my cup of coffee, yeah.
Is that changed? Is that increased over time?
Yes, maybe. Mm-hmm.
So probably what's going on with your voice is the analogous thing. There's something called benign essential tremor. First of all, it's not benign. It's not essential, but we all have a natural tremor. In other words, some people have no tremor at all. Some have more. And benign essential tremor can affect your hands, can affect your voice, can affect your arms, can affect different parts of your body. And quite often, people who have this thing called benign essential tremor, they may have a little tremor in their hands, and they will often have the same tremor in their vocal cords, and that can lead to fatigue, because you have to overcome the tremor to be able to talk. And so it's sort of a process of there's a tremor and there's a voice. And then often some people will pick it up as a voice that's changed. It may be a lower octave, and they tend to be connected. That's what they are. So there are a few ways, by the way, you can handle it. So first of all, you can handle it with voice rest. You can handle it by hydration. That can make a big difference. Hydration.
Okay.
You can handle it by looking whether or not too little caffeine or too much caffeine can affect it, because caffeine can affect alcohol, can affect the tremor. Alcohol, by the way, can affect the tremor. Literally one drink can affect a tremor more than that. And then if it's really bothersome, once again, this is usually a voice tremor of energy. There are medications you can take, but you don't want to do that unless that's really essential. But they tend to be connected. I have a question. Has anyone else noticed this, or is this something just you have noticed?
No. My husband, my kids, my friends, because sometimes they can't hear me if we're in a restaurant or somewhere. sometimes it's softer than this, and I have to really put out an effort to be heard.
Got it.
And then to complicate things, my husband has a hearing loss, and so you can imagine our marriage now.
Oh, I don't understand. That should be laughing. So you've got a husband who can't hear you, and you can't tell him anything. I can just imagine. And then he goes, "Sorry, honey, I can't hear what you have to say. Take out the garbage. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't quite hear you. You have to talk a little bit louder." I can just see it. But it is affected to this other tremor. And basically, if it's bothersome, beta blockers and other medications can be helpful. So it bothers you, sometimes a very small dose of a drug called propranolol, Propranolol, 20 milligrams twice a day or 10 milligrams twice a day may actually help your voice. You may want to talk to your doctor about it, try it out and see if it works and it's worthwhile. It's a drug that's been around for a long time. We treat it for high blood pressure and a bunch of other medications. And I would try that to see if it helps your voice get stronger.
Okay.
Because this drug, by the way, is also used for stage fright. Because people have stage fright, go out and their natural tremor is increased. So this is also something you could take before you went to a restaurant.
Oh, really?
You would try. I would try that out. I would say, "Gee, I know I'm going to go out to a restaurant. This is going to happen." I would take it an hour or 2 hours before you go to the restaurant and see whether or not your voice actually gets stronger because you're not overcoming the tremor, because the tremor is affected with the drug. I would take it on an as-needed basis, not every day. See what it works.
Okay.
And then you have to train your husband to listen what you have to say, whether or not your voice is low or high. Or you have to get a chalkboard and say, "Take out the garbage on a chalkboard," and just put it right to his face and see if that works.
Well, on days like this, when it's soft, I have to just evaluate whether it's worth it.
That's right.
Right. Say anything at all.
But once again, get a prescription from your doctor and see whether or not that is something you may take intermittently. So, well, thank you. Thank you for your call.
Thank you.
Take care, and thanks for listening.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Zorba, let's do our healthy living topic. Catching up on sleep. So on the weekends, it could lower your risk of heart disease.
Absolutely. I've got a question for you. Do you sleep more on the weekends or not? You've got 2 young children
Young
at home.
kids.
So can you sleep on the weekends? Yeah, but
I try to.
I want to know if
it
you're
works.
successful.
Once in a while, I'll get a really good sleep in or something.
Month?
Once a month, maybe really good sleep in. But I wouldn't say it was a lot.
No. But when you were single, could you sleep in on the weekend?
Man, I would sleep. I slept in every day. It didn't matter. Weekday, weekend.
I'll tell you something. So the real trouble with most of us with sleep is we have too many children. So if we stopped having children.
Okay, topic done. Stop having children.
Stop having children. But often people try to catch up with their sleep on the weekends. I mean, it's a natural thing. If you can do it, because you don't have to get up and go to work. So we're talking about people that do it. But there was a recent study presented at the European Society of Cardiology that looked at heart disease and the risk of heart disease. And lo and behold, people who literally began to catch up on sleep on their weekends, sleep in a little bit more, appear to have up to a 20% drop in heart disease, heart attacks and stroke. This particular study looked at roughly 100,000 people, self-reported whether or not they were sleep deprived. And those who were sleep deprived, who caught up on the weekend, had fewer heart attacks. And that was over the course of the study. It was a, once again, observational study over the course of the study over the years. Now, the bottom line here is this real? I mean, come on, there's a study that shows sleeping in the weekend, 20% chance you'll have less chance of a heart attack. What do you think? Think it's real or not real?
I think there's something to it seems
there's a germ of truth to it. And I think that's what it is.
That's enough for me. I'll sleep in based on that. All right, I'm doing it.
Hi, honey, I can't take out the garbage. I'm sleeping.
I read this article.
But I think the issue is, as a society, we value action and we don't value sleep.
Right.
We often say, hey, I was up doing this, I'm doing that, I'm staying up all night, we're burning the candle at both ends. I've never seen a candle burst at both ends. But really, we do that and we don't value sleep. And sleep is important. And if you want to stay healthy, you want to look at the fact that you'd like to be in bed 7 hours a night, even if you're not sleeping completely. And if you're not getting that on the weekend, try to take heed and sleep a little bit more. And this study shows it may be good for your heart as well as your soul.
Clinky Cleaners is sponsoring this episode.
Okay, Carl, what comes to your mind when I say the words Clinky Cleaners?
So back when I was younger, maybe in my mid-20s.
You were younger sometime?
At one point I was younger, I swear.
Okay.
And all my friends, people were getting married, like in your mid-20s, late 20s.
Right.
You're going to a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
And I had this one dress shirt, like one white dress shirt that I would wear to all the weddings because I just didn't have a lot of nicer clothes.
I'm there.
And eventually my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, she's like, Carl, you got to wash that white. Terrible. It's just getting ring around the collar. So I took it to Clinky Cleaners. That was the first time I went there. And of course they did a great job. It was fantastic.
Absolutely. Clinky Cleaners, locally owned since 1958. And tell them Zorba sent you.
The number to call anytime if you have a question for Dr. Zorba, 608-492-9292.
And you can email us at askdrzorba@gmail.com. That's spell it out, askdrzorba@gmail.com. And of course, Facebook, we love those comments.
And you can leave a voicemail too, and we're going to go to one of these voicemails. This is someone who called the show this is someone from Rockford, Illinois.
So ever since I was a little kid, when I had to urinate, this is a little crude maybe, when I had to urinate really, really badly, my back teeth would hurt. They'd feel like a pressure in my molars, and it hurt. And as I, went to the bathroom, it went away. I always thought this was where the term, I have to go so badly, my back teeth are floating, came from. Thought that all my life, and then I was talking to a friend, and he looked at me like I, had two heads. It's like, what the heck are you talking about? So I've asked a few other people, generally after a libation or two, about it, and they all think I'm nuts. But to this day, if I have to go to the bathroom really badly, my back teeth hurt. Oh, I guess my back teeth are floating. Anyways, that's my story. Thanks. Bye.
I haven't heard that phrase before, by the way.
Have you heard that phrase?
I have not heard the phrase. I have to go so bad my teeth
I feel like my back teeth are floating.
Yeah.
I think that's the way his body is wired.
Interesting.
We're all wired a little bit differently, and for some reason, when he had to urinate as a kid, he felt it in the back of his teeth, and he developed that. And you know what? If anyone else has ever heard that phrase or thinks that their back teeth are floating when they have to urinate, let us know at 608-492-9292 or send us an email at askdrzorba@gmail.com. Spell it out, askdrzorba@gmail.com. And of course, we're on Facebook, and of course, there's our website, drzorba.org.
All right, Zorba. Throughout the history of medicine, we've seen countless contraptions and elixirs claiming to cure ailments and professing miraculous health benefits.
Absolutely.
And we still do.
That's right.
And it's never going to stop,
Right.
I feel
Never.
like.
Of course not. Of course not. Of course not.
Let's wade into the murky past of medical quackery in the segment we're calling Quack Tales. Quack Tales. You always giggle at that one. You like that
makes me
theme.
laugh.
Yep.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie. I think that's it.
Okay, Zorba, this one's fun. Tell us about Dr. Cameron, the pea prophet.
That's right. No, pea has been used for years in terms of medical diagnosis. Some of it useful and some of it, well, kind of quackery. So there was an innkeeper years ago who basically, based on the pea, prescribed pills. And in one particular case, actually, in the middle of the night, a particular patient who was really upset because he was unable to urinate and had to go to another doctor who actually had to then puncture the bladder in order to get the urine out, and found out that the particular medicine that the pea doctor, Dr. Cameron, was using had calomel, jalap, and mercury. Now, by the way, mercury was used in lots of quackery back in the 18 or 1900s. So this vengeful innkeeper decided to really use his ostler. An ostler, by the way, is a guy who tends for the horses, to really all of a sudden say, look, I've got some problems. I'm going to use the urine. I'll give you my urine. You'll figure it out. So good old Dr. Cameron, the pea doctor, looked at the urine and said, you need this and that and this and that. You've got to drink a pail of water twice a day, And lo and behold, they weren't using the urine that the guy had produced, but the urine of a donkey. Okay. And so the doctor basically who was the pea doctor, got to be known as the ass.
Okay, it's time for Zorba to go behind the curtain. And this is a syndrome I had never heard of. It's a little bit of a misnomer, maybe. I'd never heard of it before, but it's called exploding head syndrome.
Well, maybe it's a misnomer because your head is not actually exploding, but the sound is the issue. And it's people that have it where all of a sudden right when you're just sort of going to sleep or you're waking up and all of a sudden there's a thunderclap. There's no thunder in your head. And it's very, very discomforting. So imagine if you're in the middle of a thunderstorm and all of a sudden there's a loud storm, but it's in your head and it wakes you up. And it becomes very distressful.
Horrible.
But it is horrible. It's terrible when it happens. So people, if that happens, they begin to have sleep disturbance and trouble. And it's a variation. We don't know exactly what it is because sometimes it's people who have migraines. We don't know whether or not they're seizures. But actually sometimes they're medications that you have to give to people when they have it when they go to sleep. But this is analogous to other syndromes that happen with our migraines. And that is a post-orgasmic migraine, which actually happens. So you have an orgasm and then you get a splitting migraine headache right after you orgasm. And so these are very, very serious things. And you can imagine if you get a migraine post-orgasm that you're not going to have sex. If you want to have children or you want to have sex, it then becomes a problem. These medications, there are medications that help in both of these cases, and they are basically anti-seizure medications. So if you're having trouble going to sleep because you hear these loud sounds, or you have a post-orgasmic headache, and people have that much more common, this is the time to actually look behind the curtain, get it treated by your doctor, discuss it with your doctor, and if they don't know, tell them to look it up.
All right, that's it for today, Zorba.
That's it.
Now,
That's it.
What did we learn today?
Well, we learned a lot of things.
We did. We learned about benign essential tremor. Maybe it could affect your voice as
Absolutely.
well.
You've got a tremor, your voice may be affected, and there's a treatment with medication.
Yep, and we also learned about catching up on sleep on the weekends that
The
might be
importance of it.
beneficial.
Absolutely.
For our
Good for your
heart.
heart, good for your soul.
Yeah, and then we learned about a phrase, I have to pee so badly my teeth are floating. We'll leave that there.
That's
we
right.
also
One and done.
Yeah. We learned about the pee prophet. A lot of pee today, a lot of urine
That's
today.
right, that's right.
If you're into pee, you're in luck today. You're in luck. We also learned about something that I'd never heard of, exploding head syndrome.
That's right. That's
it's a
right.
sleep
And
disorder.
post-orgasmic headache, and the fact that there are treatments for both of these. And these are important things to know about. And that's what we do on our podcast every week. We want to give you useful information that you can digest, easy to understand. Call us at 608-492-9292. Again, that's 608-492-9292. Or
you could email us, askdrzorba@gmail.com.
spell it out. That's askdrzorba@gmail.com. Leave a comment on Facebook or come to our website, drzorba.org, and stay well.